Think about it. Think real good about Elon Musk and Donald Trump. Good evening. It's very late in the hills of Tennessee. And I'm having to be very quiet because we have a lot of sick people that are sleeping. But my duty demanded me to find a cubbyhole and address the Elon Musk and Donald Trump fallout. The question tonight is, what did Donald Trump do that made Elon snap? Very simple. Donald Trump said no to the richest man in the world. Think about that. Is that not the man we voted for? This moment should cause you to have more pride in Donald Trump than you've ever had before. Why? He proved again he cannot be bought. He proved again he will say no to the elites and yes to the little man. You right now have all the proof you need that Donald Trump is who he said he was, unbeholden to any special interest. For those of you that don't know me, I go by the satirical stage name as Professor Toto. And I want to talk to you tonight. I've already released my blog detailing my thoughts on this situation. You need to subscribe to my blog on Substack at Real Professor Toto. You can find me at Substack. I'm not going to go into all of the details that I went into on my Substack, but let me touch the highlights. Let's talk first about Elon Musk. Yes, the electric messiah, the rocket-fueled genius, the self-proclaimed savior of free speech. That would be him. The man that we all cheered for when he bought Twitter and threw blue-haired censors out with the digital trash. That Elon Musk. But now, suddenly we have the big, beautiful betrayal. The big, beautiful betrayal. And now he's mad at Donald Trump, calling his big, beautiful bill a pork-filled abomination. And I ask all of you residents of TOTO-TOWN, why? Why would he do that? It's simple. Elon Musk thought he bought the kingdom. Mistake number one with Donald Trump. He thought he bought the kingdom. He thought he bought the king. If you'll remember, what was the great fear of the media just a few weeks ago? That Elon was the real president. Elon was in charge. Do you remember all over the mainstream media, this was the news, that Elon was in control? Well, today, that narrative was thrown out with the rest of the digital trash. Donald Trump proved once and for all there is one MAGA leader. You see, Elon Musk thought that he could throw out a few MAGA-friendly tweets and get ownership papers of our movement. But when Trump did not bend the knee to his demands, Elon threw a tantrum that could power the entire Tesla grid. Now, I want to zoom in a little bit tonight on what really cooked Elon's circuits, and this is important that you understand. Donald Trump killed, decimated, destroyed the electric vehicle mandate that Joe Biden installed. He refused to force Americans into battery-powered obedience. And that just so happened to threaten billions of dollars in EV tax credits. And that ideology has affected Elon's bottom dollar. It's amazing how fast ideologies melt when money's on the line, is it not? But Elon's principles were never MAGA. Know that. I've told you that a year ago. His principles was to protect his profits. He claims he's mad about government spending, but he's not protesting pork. He's panicking over profits. Now, I know there's going to be many podcasters that tell you this is all a show. They're going to get back together, and this was all some chess move. I wish that were true, but it's not. How do I know it's not true? Because I'm in the unique position of being a pastor, a leader myself, and I've seen this same story over and over and over. It is human nature. Now, I hope I'm wrong about that. I hope they make up and all is well. But I'm going to tell you 8 times out of 10, that is not going to happen. Let me quote to you from the Gospel of Common Sense, chapter 1776. With friends like Elon, who needs enemies? You see, geniuses have a habit of outsmarting themselves. And when they enter the realm of government, you see, everyone knows how the church is supposed to be run, how the government is supposed to be run until it's time to run it, until it's time to deal with the nuances of give and take, where loyalty matters more than likes, and where discipline disrupts, or rather trumps, disruption. Listen to that. In government, discipline trumps disruptors. And what happens to the disruptors? They implode. They do not understand leadership discipline. Elon did not understand budget reconciliation. He does not understand that the CBO that he is quoting is a hot tub of static nonsense. But you know who does know that? You guessed it. Trump, Mike Johnson, and the Jedi of fiscal responsibility himself, Newt Gingrich. Now, if you're wondering why I'm speaking so monotone, I've not been feeling well, but this is my duty. And I got in my pajamas and I said, I must let MAGA know what is really going on behind the scenes. These men, Donald Trump, Mike Johnson, and Newt Gingrich in the past have done what Elon only dreams about. What? Dealt with government successfully. So when Trump moves forward without Elon's fingerprints all over the plan, Elon does what? What they always do, declares war. And in doing so, he has handed the political left all the ammo they need for 2026. Causes me to wonder if that was the plan all along. What's the plan of 2026? Well, they will be able to say that Trump, that Elon Musk himself said how horrible this big, beautiful bill really was. I want to bring you back 2 years, 3 years ago, when I told you about Ron DeSanctimonious, Ron DeSantis. And I educated you all. I told you that Ron made a horrible mistake. I told you that he did what all men do. They get out of their lane. They cannot wait their turn. Had it not been for his stupidity, Ron DeSantis would now be the vice president of the United States of America. Ron was raised up by Donald Trump. He was given power, prestige, and a platform. He was groomed for vice president. But Ron wanted the crown. He wanted to jump the line. That sounds very familiar to a story out of the book of 2 Samuel about David and Absalom. You see, Absalom was David's son, raised by David to be the next in line for the throne. He was handsome, charming, popular, but he could not stay loyal. He won the people's hearts, and then he lost his head, literally. This story repeats itself over and over and over. As a pastor, I see it every single day. Ron DeSantis broke ranks. He pulled an Absalom. That's what Elon has done. But here in TOTO-TOWN, we honor loyalty, not ladder climbers in disguise. And just when you think that the circus has exhausted itself, oh no, Elon throws one more act into the ring. Are you ready? Trump is in the Epstein files. Give me a break. Really? This is what you're going to do? You see, I know what this is like. I deal with it on a daily basis. When one thing don't work, you throw another thing. Why? Let me tell you why it works. People never care about the truth. They care about the accusation. So there doesn't need to be any truth. Elon is following the script of Satan himself, throwing out one accusation after another, hoping that something in this circus, this big, beautiful betrayal, will stick. But let's get to the facts. Number one, Donald Trump's name was nowhere in the flight logs to Epstein Island. That's a fact. Fact number two, he banned Epstein from where? Mar-a-Lago. Number three, the victims of Epstein said Trump never did anything wrong. Number four, under oath, Joanna Soberg said she never gave Trump a massage. But facts do not matter when you're grasping for straws like Elon Musk, because now Elon will dwindle down into that black hole of rich but refuse, nothing but trash now, done, over with his, and now he wants to start a third party. So typical. Instead of staying there where he had influence, where he had effect, he falls in the same trap that every human falls in, not knowing their place. It was a desperation move from a man who realized that he no longer is the darling of our movement. Now he's the diva in the balcony throwing popcorn at the stage he's no longer a part of. Here's the real story. All residents of TOTO-TOWN, listen to the mayor of this town of truth. Here's the truth. Donald Trump is not perfect, but Donald Trump is principled. He doesn't bend. He doesn't sell out. And when the billionaires and the boot polishers come knocking, he still knows how to say no. And that's why this betrayal is happening. That's why. Because Trump did not play their game of the elites. You see, the elites are on the right and the left. And Donald Trump told the richest man in the world, no. And he was willing to pay the consequences for this big, beautiful bill. He was willing. You see, men like Elon are not used to hearing no. When you think you've bought the kingdom, you're not expecting a no. I'm so glad tonight that me and you, we're loyalists. We're company men. We're Absalom-proof disciples who know the difference between charisma and covenant. We're not dazzled by geniuses, but we follow character. And that, dear listener, is why Elon's betrayal, yes, it's loud. It's definitely loud. It will cover the news for the next 7 days. It is loud. But let me tell you what's louder and what's going to outlive Elon's loud. Trump's loyalty to we, the people. That is much louder. You've been listening to Professor Toto on the Freedom Frequency. Good night.